Dive into the heart of Cleveland's business community with the Cleveland Burning Podcast. Join me, Kim Kitchen, owner of Burning River Marketing, and Kirk Tietz, owner of Cleveland Custom Coatings, as we explore the untold stories of local business owners. In this engaging series, we focus on the setbacks, accidents, and unexpected turns that pave the way for ultimate success. So just like the Cuyahoga River ignited change in the city, our podcast showcases how adversity can spark innovation and growth. Hear from passionate entrepreneurs who have braved the flames of failure and emerged stronger and more resilient. Get ready for candid conversations and a behind-the-scenes look at the business landscape in Cleveland. What's up, Kirk?
You know, I was at Kohl's last night.
I
was trying to look around, so a little early Christmas shopping.
All right.
Saw this lady, she was looking in the mirror. Apparently she was trying on some clothes.
Yeah.
She's like, there's something wrong with this mirror, she said.
It does happen.
She said, this thing makes me look horrible. I told her, I said, ma'am, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think my eyes have the same problem that mirror does.
Oh my gosh, Kirk. Okay, well, welcome to the Cleveland Burning Podcast, where we uncover stories from local professionals who've braved the flames of adversity and turned them into success. You're going to get assaulted one of these days. I'm your host, Kim Kitchen, with your other host.
I'm Kirk Tietz. And today we're interviewing Kelly Maclean from Kelly Maclean Achievement Center.
Yep, I'm going to introduce Kelly, but I unfortunately can't say that much because I actually start like tearing up when I talk about how amazing Kelly is. So Kelly owns the Kelly Maclean Achievement Center, and she's owned that for 12 years, you
12
said?
years, yes.
Yep. And so she does ACT tutoring, college applications, helps with college admissions, test prep. She tutors, I think, all ages, right?
Correct.
And I know you've also talked about helping with athletes. So what is that? What is that called? That service?
Athletic recruiting.
Athletic recruiting.
Yes.
Okay. And the way that she helped me, she's in our BNI chapter, and she's helped a lot of the parents in the BNI chapter, is I have two daughters. One of them, the firstborn, is kind of typical. They have a drive and direction, and she never asked for any advice other than should I take the ACT and the SAT. And she was asking me that her sophomore year. So she took them both, and then she took the ACT again, and she got a super score of 33. So she needed no help. She knew she was going to do chemical engineering. But the other one, the second born, she just loves everything. She could be drawn in several different directions at the same time. And she was having a really hard time picking a major. And I was having a hard time encouraging her to take the next steps and go to college if she didn't have a major. So when I found out that Kelly has this program that helps students actually pick their major, I don't know, what would you call that?
We call that career exploration.
Okay. It was awesome. This was like Anna, she not only, I thought we were just signing up for career exploration, but Kelly worked with her to make sure that she had her applications in, that she had her essay written. And this was at a time when Anna really wanted to take no advice from me. And she discovered through the career exploration that construction management would be a good fit for her personality, which sent her to Kent, which is so close and so affordable. And so if it wasn't for Kelly, then I'm really worried that Anna would have gotten derailed very quickly without a major. And so because she has a major and she has a focus, she's going into her she's completing her junior year at Kent, and she's going to be going to doing a semester in Florence, Italy, this next semester, and then she's going to be interning over at John G. Johnson Construction Company, and I really feel like she's on a path that we never would have gotten to without your help. So I thank you.
It wasn't on her radar when we started, that's for sure.
So tell us a little bit more about your business.
Fabulous. So I started the business 12 years ago. I had worked in college admissions for 9 years. I coached varsity girls high school soccer 8 of those 9 years. And I felt like I was surrounded by high school students 24 hours a day between going into high schools, kids coming into the college, me coaching soccer. And I started to see a huge breakdown in the information kids were getting. Mm-hmm. And kids were picking paths and talking about colleges. And when I would say, why did you do this or why didn't you do this? I got the exact same answer every single time. Oh, well, no one told me.
Yeah.
And I thought there has to be a better way. And so I started helping my soccer players, and their parents started referring me to other people. And all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, I have a full-time job. I have a part-time coaching job. And now I've got people asking for help. I'm going to have to charge them.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the birth of the business.
Okay.
But there was a lot behind that.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
before that.
Well, I didn't know that. And I know we've heard through our BNI chapter different parents that have given you testimonials and how instrumental you've been in just helping their kids and we hear everything from, maybe a fifth grader that's having a hard time reading to a student that is graduating high school and already knows they don't want to go into college but aren't sure about those next steps. So you do that as well, right?
Absolutely. Everyone should not be attending a four-year college.
Yep.
There's so many other paths. And I think, our education system has not kept up with our economy, with our society. And everyone is still taking, four in the core and accelerated versions of it, but oftentimes without any goals attached to it. Like, why are you taking that class? Well, I don't know. They told me that I qualified for it. Does it have anything to do with your future? So yes, we help students break down all of those things. What classes they should be taking. What is going to be that best fit for a career? What college is going to give you, be the right fit in three ways. Academically, the right major.
Right.
Socially. Like, have the extra clubs,
Yeah.
be your people, share values with the people that you're surrounded by, and then financially. And I find that that's a piece that most parents wait way too long to discuss with their children. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, my kid got accepted to their first choice and we can't afford it. We have to have that conversation. So we make sure parents are thinking about that well in advance of making the decisions on where to apply and what the expectations are.
I feel like you could call Kelly for almost anything. If it
So
has
do
to
you,
with
so you,
education.
will you help people that struggle in a certain subject? Because like I struggled in math, and I just saw a study that said 1,600 out of 2,000 kids had failed their math test, and that's almost half.
We do help with math, and I'm incredibly fortunate that we have outstanding math tutors. And I'm super proud of the fact I've got a woman who works for me. Her name is Kat. Kat was a math major at Case Western Reserve.
Oh, geez.
And I love the fact, not to perpetuate a stereotype, but so often we get girls who come in and they say, oh, I just don't get math. And when they can sit with Kat and they see this beautiful woman sitting in front of them who can teach them math, and they're like, oh, wait, you can
math
do
is cool.
math?
Yeah,
Right.
for
Yeah,
women.
exactly.
Hot, sexy broads are doing math.
Yes,
Ladies.
exactly. We just recently had a student, she's a twin.
Okay.
And her twin is super successful in the classroom, great in math. And this girl came in to get math tutoring, and she's very shy and, introverted. And she worked with actually one of my other tutors, and the mom came in several weeks ago and said, oh, they just had their midterms. She outscored her twin and got an A.
Oh my God.
And I said to her, oh my gosh, congratulations. You must be so proud. She's like, yeah, I am. And I said, did you rub it into your sister? She's like, no, she would have rubbed it into me, but I didn't.
Oh,
and
what
I'm
a
like, oh my God,
sweetheart.
you're so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, again, I feel like what a huge difference for her to understand that she can get math.
Yep.
She can be proficient. She can do really well. That could change her career trajectory.
Absolutely. It certainly would change her confidence level, which is
Oh,
going to
for
impact how
sure.
she approaches life. I
Yes,
mean, it's like you're making
exactly.
such an impact, which is why I usually get teared up whenever I talk about it.
I failed math so many times I can't count.
Okay. Well, we need to talk about the next the next part of the interview. Oh boy.
Kirk, you might be the one I could not help.
Well, there are three types of people in this world: those that are good at math and those that aren't.
Get it?
Yes. Yeah.
Missing the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we like to prepare people for what our podcast is actually about, and it's about successful people who have to overcome challenges, difficulties, sometimes even maybe a train wreck that makes you reconsider what you're doing in life, right? So I think some of these young kids that you're talking about, some of them think they're just going to step right out in the world and it's going to be one success after the other.
Yes.
I feel like one of the things I like the most is not to wish for an easier life, but to wish for a better ability to overcome more difficult things. So would you mind sharing something that maybe you had to overcome to achieve that success?
Absolutely. So I was working in college admissions. I was coaching high school soccer, and I was starting to help the girls on my team, with some college decisions. And I knew there was going to be a conflict with the college I was working for because I wasn't telling them to go there. So I switched and I began working for an automotive technology college because there were no options for them to play soccer there. There was no conflict. And in working for the automotive technology college, I faced a lot of pushback being a female. At one point, I had a guy tell me when we were all discussing a mechanical problem, you should just shut up. You're a woman. You don't know anything. And I was like, oh, wow, this is not going to work for me. And so I was like, this is just too stressful. I don't think I want to do this. I think I want to pursue helping more students on my own. But at the time, I was in a really horrible marriage. I started having health issues. I spent 6 months getting tested, was finally diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. They said, it's always been present. Stress probably was the trigger that kicked in all the symptoms. And I literally just stopped and said, okay, I've got an autoimmune disease. They've got me on all these steroids. I'm in this really stressful marriage. It wasn't working for either one of us. And I hate the job I'm doing because I'm working with a lot of people who were sexist. The culture had been shifting in college admissions for years to we want heads in beds. We don't care if it's the right fit for the kid. I was not good with that.
Right.
And I said, this is not what I want to do. This isn't who I want to be. I told my husband numerous times I wanted a divorce. Finally, I said, I'm moving out.
Right.
He handed me my gym bag, a small blue gym bag. He said, whatever you can take in this, you can leave the house with. You're not getting anything else because you'll be back. You can't make it on your own. And I took my gym bag, I filled it with personal items, and I walked out.
Yeah.
I rented a condo nearby. I told my son, look, I've got an extra bedroom. He was still living at home. My daughter was already in college. I said, you can move in with me. He says, I'm not coming, Mom. He said, you have to come home. And walking out of your house with your 16-year-old still in it, I mean, like, I still tear up thinking about it. But I knew I had to do it because my life depended on it. My health depended on it. My happiness, my children's happiness actually depended on it. And, I had stayed for years because, for the kids. And I realized one day when my husband said something to me in the driveway and my daughter looked at me and said, I would never let a man talk to me that way. What am I teaching her?
Yeah.
And it still took me 2 more years it wasn't until the health scare that I was like, I'm out of here. And I moved out. And I continued to work in college admissions, coaching soccer, and building my business. And that's where it started. And my ex was not wanting to give me a divorce. I'm like, you can keep the house, you can keep everything in it. I don't care. Just sign the papers.
Yeah, let me go.
And my son moved in about 3 months after I moved out. And I literally, no alimony, no child support, this is it. I'm doing this. And I worked my ass off and we do such great work for students. My whole goal was not on like, what's in it for me? It was more, who else can I help? Because then the money will come.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so over the time, I've been super fortunate. I've had amazing employees, amazing tutors who share that. Like, I really want to help a kid. Like, my tutors they share my passion for learning. They want to learn. And while there's a lot of great students are just strategically compliant students, they do what they're told to do because they know getting that A will make the next door open. But we also want to instill, like, what do you want to learn about? Like, what do you want to dive deeper into? Learning should not be just to check a box. Like, okay, I got a good grade on the test. I don't care about that subject.
Right.
And so I think that's why with career exploration, we really make a connection with students because they realize like, I can like what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
It's not just about the paycheck. How do I do that? So opening their minds to new ideas like that is just really fulfilling.
It's so amazing that you were in that situation because I look now I remember the last time I visited your office and at the time it was in North Olmsted. I know now it's in Westlake, but you walk in and you see names of students and the schools that they're going to and like all the schools that they've been accepted to. And it's just really, there's something about the environment where you can tell that everybody is there to help those kids with their future, to help those kids with their happiness, to help those kids. And so to know that it came from a place was tough.
Yeah, yeah, it came from out of struggle, like just really wanting to help kids and get to that next level. And one of the most gratifying things to me is when we have college kids, kids we've helped. I mean, I've helped kids negotiate their first job offer. They've gotten their first job offer and their parents have said, well, you should negotiate that dollar amount. And of course the kid is like, well, no, I don't want
Yeah,
them to
right.
take it back.
You
I
don't
don't
want to
want
lose
them to
it.
say
Sure.
no. And so what do I do? And they're like, call Kelly. And they
Mm-hmm.
call and it's like, okay, here's what you're going to say. Here's the email you're going to
You have
send.
such a gift, like
And
communicating with these kids.
yeah,
You
I
really
think
do.
because they know it's genuine.
Yep.
They know like it's not I'm not saying, hey, get tutoring so you get a better grade.
Yep.
I'm saying, hey, a little bit of help here is going to make it easier for you so that you have more options in the
Right.
long run. And I don't think it's conveyed to them like that. And,
Mm-hmm.
like, let's face it, in high schools, guidance counselors don't have the time to have
No.
these conversations. They are just so like the number of students they have to handle, the
Yeah.
issues, the testing, the administration, they don't have time for this. It's not that they don't want to. It's just that they don't have the time. And
Yeah, they would probably love to, but it's not set up. I mean, you have,
No.
I think Alexis graduated with over 500 kids in North Olmsted. I think it was maybe up to 600. There's no way that a guidance counselor can give that. Plus, you would be counseling people in their junior year, ideally probably talking to people in their sophomore years.
Yes.
So I mean, that's 1,800 kids if they're all classes of I mean, how would
Right.
you possibly?
You can't manage
No.
that. No, no.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel really blessed that people have entrusted their children to me like you did.
Yeah.
And that, we do develop those relationships with kids. I mean, we even have kids who are in college. Hey, can you tutor in organic chemistry? Hey, can you tutor in this? And, again, they're doing Zoom tutoring with us.
Mm-hmm.
Virtually or prepping for the MCAT, the LSAT, the GRE,
Right. That was
because
something
we
you said
do
recently.
all of the test prepping as
Yep.
well. And, taking standardized test is not specific to the test. You heard in our
Mm-hmm. Your
BNI group,
presentation.
yeah, Melanie Gaughan's daughter, she wanted some help with the STNA test. There's not a single nurse on my staff, and yet 45 minutes with her, she passed the test the next
Right.
day.
Because you're teaching
The
test
skills that they've never learned.
So look, you could probably pass the bar, Kirk. All you just need to know how to take the test.
I usually stop in a bar when I walk by, but sometimes I pass them.
You could be an attorney.
Kim, you teed that up perfectly.
No, I did. I did. I knew he'd have something smart to say.
Of course. Of course.
Well, we always love to leave with something really positive about your business, something that you're promoting, maybe what's going on at the Kelly Maclean Achievement Center. So, do you have something new, fun, exciting, anything you want to talk about?
Yes. So this is the time of year where it's ideal for both sophomores and juniors to come in, start working on test prep and career exploration, figuring out what they want to do so they can figure out where they want to go to school. Make sure it's a great fit so they have the most opportunities. You talked about Anna, and I mean, what great opportunities she has. Like, it's amazing.
It's I mean, I'm couldn't be more thankful for what you did for her because, like I said, she was at the point where she just knew she wanted to go to college because it would be a fun experience.
Yes.
And it was the pandemic. It was like 2020, I think it was 2020, 2021 where she was graduating, and she had just no direction at all, and we couldn't even go to different schools. So I mean, it
Right.
was like just in the worst situation, and without you, I don't know what she would have done. But the fact that she got the idea of construction management, she was able to even get on Zoom with somebody that's in the role, in a profession, that was a fellow female, which was really cool that you set that up. So she got some confidence that, yeah, this is something I want to do. Found out that Kent has that program, and now she's going to school only 20 minutes from her sister who's in Akron. So, she's living the high life. She loves it. She absolutely loves it. Kent is the perfect fit for her. And now that she's going to Italy and then she's doing her internship, I just really think it looks like she's going to graduate on time with confidence, and that this was the right fit for her to go into a career. So
Absolutely. That confidence is such a big thing. And when students realize that they can accomplish more with just a little bit of help, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go farther, go with other people. That getting other people on your team to help get you to where you want to go, it just makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And too often kids are afraid to ask for help, and we just make it so accessible.
Well, and as a parent, it's very difficult to watch. You've got somebody that you love so much, and you're just like, you'll ask, like, well, what's going on with what schools are you choosing? What's going on with your applications? And they don't want to tell you anything. Like, I got it, Mom. Don't worry about it. So.
Oh, right. That's the age. They're trying to stress their independence.
Right.
Grow their wings, get ready to fly at a time when they really do need some direction because they've never gone through this before. They've never picked a career. They've never picked a college, a major. I mean, this is a huge life change. You wouldn't buy a house without having, the appraiser, the inspector, the realtor, some research behind it. You don't do it just because you looked at it and somebody told you, oh, it's a nice neighborhood.
Right.
And yet kids pick colleges like that. And that's why national graduation rate is 5.5 years for a 4-year degree, because they're picking colleges like that instead of having the guidance and the support like you would do to buy a house.
Yeah.
So you help them get into the college, you help them get through the college, you help them move on to their career.
Yep.
And even
Super
if
cool.
they wanted to go to graduate school, you help with that
yes.
too, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Super cool.
That is super cool. Well, I know I could talk to you about the Kelly Maclean Achievement Center pretty much all day, because I really do like talking to you about all of the different ways that you're helping people. So thank you for sharing your stories of adversity. We do focus on adversity because we really think by maybe breaking the stereotype of people thinking it's, you just have to be lucky and have one success after another in order to get to where you are, that by shining a light on, like, it's a series of adversity usually, and failures and struggles that get you to the point of success, which you totally embody. Thank you for sharing that. So
Absolutely.
if you enjoyed today's episode, and we hope that you did, please subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yeah, and leave us a review, because we're pretty sure that helps us to reach even more listeners. So until next time, remember that every train wreck can be a stepping stone to something extraordinary. And thanks for joining us on the Cleveland Birding Podcast.
See you next time.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.